think as we're seeing companies becoming more mature with their use of AI as an inference platform, as a way of gaining business value, they're seeing that the data they have to feed to that AI is very, very much the crown jewels within the organization. And then start to think about, how do I build a platform for AI that is actually under my control in my environment? And often that lends itself to the collection of open source tools that we're seeing out of the wider open source community.
Yeah, and I think that, this builds on some of the trends that started really many years ago with digital sovereignty, which was kind of, where is my data? Who has access to it? What laws apply to it? I think that what we see now, though, is it's not just, okay, maybe my data is in a US hyperscaler's data center, but now it's actually like, we're giving the data to a model that is learning from it, that's adding it to the collection. And is that really something I want to do? I think that when we look at these frontier models, one of the things that's amazing about them is how they have been able to encapsulate sort of all of the publicly available knowledge in the world into something that we can chat with and talk to and ask questions and make predictions and all of this kind of thing. But when you are in that situation, what do you have left that is yours and that's your unique value? It's really the data that's not publicly available. And I think this has, even more than data sovereignty, has given companies and individuals and governments a real moment where they're saying, okay, let's hit pause and think about this. What are the ramifications? What can we do? How should we evaluate this? And what are the options that we have before we just sort of like continue down this path of giving a handful of companies, an extraordinary amount of our unique value.
And with AI, the emphasis is on the data. And that's something I think companies have looked at and said, where is our data? To your point, Jonathan, that's even more exacerbated now, where you put data into the frontier model, you're not sure whether it's actually being retained. Yes, there's SLAs and there's, agreements and such that basically, segment that, enterprise footprints and plans and whatnot. But really, where is this going and who actually controls that data? And back with cloud, I mean, to kind of tie it back into kind of getting people comfortable and used to using other people's computers, it was all about more of a cost motivation. And it wasn't much as a question of where the data lived and who had access and et cetera. But with AI having such a, Gen AI having such a orientation around data, there is no AI without data. So now it becomes, that's actually more of the question.